There's the easy way to do things, and then there's the hard way to do things. And I guess there's a lane where you could stay where you are and be content. Most people, if they had the option, would choose the easy road, such as myself, because life is stressful and the last thing I need is to add more onto that stress. Like serving in the military, it's a choice. You're not obligated to do it, but it's a choice. And it's also a commitment. So, for the people that chose the hard path, which is going to school, going to college, and getting your degree, I want to say you're a true one. You're amazing. And, congratulations to you. You knew the risk of going to college. Now, some people, I hate to compare college to the military, but, some people in the military get lucky because they know someone that knows someone that could give them a job or promotion. Just like in college, where you know someone that could pretty much give you a free ride to college where you can graduate without being in debt. A lot of people don't have that option. So like the military, you have your officers and then you have your enlisted. The people that have to pay for their college and end up in college debt after they leave the university or college that they attend to are like the enlisted. But those are the ones that you want because they worked hard instead of having a free ride. So for those that are in college debt, again, I commend you for everything that you put yourself through. You worked a second job or something in the nature. You know, you stayed focused from one, two, three, four. You know, what like for like 12 semesters, maybe 13 to 14 if you want to count college and winter courses. you know like you did that for 4 years straight, and to be considered for a master's degree or a doctorate's degree, you have to your grades have to be up there. I don't know why that's a requirement, but it's part of it. And you studied so you could maintain that grade point average so you could be accepted into something. Me, if I could do it all over again, I'm like, screw that. The best I'll give you is a C plus or a B minus. That's my mentality. It's a weak mentality. It's a pathetic mentality. But even if I had that mentality, I still chose the easier road. And the easier road was not going to school, not getting into college debt, and see if I could get rich without trying to, I guess, be a slave to I don't know, the system. The only thing that I'm missing is an OnlyFans. Man, I wish I was a chick so I could have an OnlyFans and have people pay for my content and all that stuff. But on a serious note, that aside though, um, you did what you had to do. You know, people, even small degrees like African studies or women's studies or sociology or psychology or social work or you know, just still took the time out of your life to to pursue something that you want. Matter of fact, when you apply to a job, you know, and they see that you have a degree, it shows them that, you know, if you can stay committed to school, you can stay committed to the job. Now, obviously, you know, it goes without saying, you know, there's someone that has the same college degree as you and they just happen to know someone. So, you know, that's the only problem you face. But you know, that aside, you know, you'll definitely get the job more over than me. You know, for example, NYPD. Um, you need 60 college credits or an associate degree to even be considered. Now, I think that's changed, but back then that was a requirement. I was gonna just be like, you know, do 2 years or, you know, get 60 credits and not even graduate. You know, the bare minimum, the less stressful route. You know, but there are those out there that just go above and beyond. You know, for the 999th time. You know, like, you know, I gotta give you guys credit. You know, congratulations on graduating. You know, I'll give you guys credit again for the thousandth time, for the 1001, infinity to beyond. You know, like, you guys deserve actually a little bit more respect. You know, it's a little hard to do those things when you live on your own. You know, which is why I had a problem, because, you know, I had to pay a light bill, gas bill, rent, car insurance, all that stuff. You know, just to even stay focused on school. But, you know, those that who live in a dorm, or, you know, live off of their parents, which is nothing wrong with that, you know, or even have, you know, a really, really good roommate that understands the situation and wants to see you strive. You know, like, I had roommates like that before, but, you know, economy gets in the way. Then instead of your roommates wanting you to shoot for the stars, you know, unfortunately they want you to shoot for the moon and, you know, help out at home and all that stuff. But seriously, you know, so this is a message to everyone who recently graduated. Congratulations. You know, shoot for the stars on a serious note, and you know, keep doing what you're doing. A lot of people don't say this, but I'm proud of you.